In my last video, we opened up ChatGPT and tried to see if it could help us to lucid dream. But I'm sure some of you noticed that while it got some things right, some of the information it spat out just wasn't really that great. Now on the other hand, if someone had trained a large language model purely on lucid dreaming information, then the results that it spat out would have been much better and much more accurate. It's also true that if I spent some more time wording those questions in different ways, I might have got some better answers from it. Because that's the thing, in order to get a better current answer from an AI, you have to have a good history in there that it's trained on, and you also have to have a good prompt to tell it what exactly you want from it. Without those two things, the answers that you're going to get from it are not always going to be on point. And I was thinking about that in relation to certain techniques that we ourselves perform, things like affirmations and mantras. We are essentially prompting our brains much in the same way we would a large language model for some particular results that we desire. And just like when working with a large language model, the way that you word that prompt can affect the results that you get. And perhaps even more important than that is the context and training data that you give your brain beforehand. I think this is one of the ways that affirmations and such can actually be ineffective and let us down. We use a simple mantra like, say, I will be lucid in my next dream, and we repeat it and we do it each night, and what will end up happening is as we get successive nights where we don't have any results, we're essentially just training our brain that this doesn't actually work. So it's no wonder that I've noticed a particular trend that people who have early success with affirmations and mantras tend to have success with them over time, while people who have early failures with affirmations and mantras tend to find them less effective overall. Today I'd like to challenge the normal way we go about setting up a mantra, and I'd like to introduce a concept that I'm just calling affirmative narration for now. As with anything that I've given a name in the past, this is just my name for this. You can use any name that you like for this, and it wouldn't surprise me if other people have thought of this idea before because it is a fairly simple idea. Essentially, my reworked model for affirmations is to start with the past, build up a solid past foundation, then work on the present, build up a foundation there, and finally move on to the future, the things that you would like to happen. Now you can't rewrite your entire history, but there's a good thing about our brains, and that's that just like large language models, they can only focus on so much given information at a time. So we can utilise this and we can focus on the good parts of our history. How does this apply to lucid dreaming? Well, I want you to think about some things that have gone well for you with regards to lucid dreaming lately. And hold up, before you say nothing's gone well if you haven't had any results yet, I'm sure you can think of something that has gone well in the process of learning to lucid dream. One example, you're watching mine and presumably other lucid dreaming YouTubers' videos, so you're learning about lucid dreaming. That is something that's going well. Another example, you might be taking some actual steps to lucid dream, like keeping a dream journal, like performing reality checks, or like performing certain techniques. Maybe you've been having more vivid dreams lately, or maybe you've been recalling and writing down more of your dreams. Or if you have been having a more frequent number of lucid dreams recently, then you can mention that. I want you to start this process off by thinking of as many things that have gone well with regards to lucid dreaming like this, and writing them all down as statements in the past tense. So you can say, I've been watching lots of lucid dreaming content lately. I've been having more vivid dreams. I've been having longer dreams. I've been recalling more of my dreams recently. I've been keeping up with my dream journal. I've been performing lots of reality checks. Think about all of those things that you can already say are true and write as many of them down as possible. Once you've done that, we've covered the past. So let's move on to the present or the very near future. I want you to think about some things that you can do today that you will do today in regards to lucid dreaming. So for example, I will perform some reality checks today. I will perform mild when I go to sleep at night. I will watch at least one more lucid dreaming video. I will read up about a new technique. I'll post on the lucid dreaming subreddit. I'll visualise what I want to happen in my lucid dreams tonight. You can even add this activity itself that you're completing right now and say, I will complete this process of affirmative narration. Once again, just like you did in the previous step, write these things down. Finally, we want to move forward from the present and the near future to the future itself. What we've already done in those previous steps is basically created our history for our own little inner large language model, and we've created our prompt. Our prompt is essentially, these are some things that are going to happen to us. And we are then going to go on and confirm those things throughout the day because we've set some things that we are going to complete today, like you are going to perform reality checks or you are going to watch one more video or whatever. Because those are achievable things that you are going to complete, you're affirming this process as you go throughout the day. So now it's time to think of those traditional affirmations, the things that you would like to happen. And I'm actually going to suggest a break from the way that we normally write affirmations. It's something that I've even emphasised on this channel, that you normally write affirmations or say affirmations in the first person past or present tense, as if that thing has already happened, or is happening right now. But today we're not going to do that. We're going to use might statements and could statements. We're not going to lie to our brains. We're going to say, these things might happen, these things could happen. and we're going to focus on some positive things that could end up happening today or in the near future. So think about some of your lucid dreaming goals. Maybe you could say, I might lucid dream tonight, or I might have more lucid dreams this week, or I could start easily remembering my dreams, or I could start having longer and more vivid dreams. Perhaps you could say, I might have success performing wild tonight, or simply, I might realise when I'm dreaming. If you want to make this potentially even more effective, then I would recommend putting some things in here that are actually quite likely to happen already. They're not guaranteed, they're not like the things that you said that I will do today, but these are things that are quite likely to happen, and that if and when they do happen, it's going to trigger you feeling like, hey, my process of affirmative narration is working here, and it's going to help build a foundation for those other things that you've asked for to work as well. So you could say something as simple as, I might start remembering more of my dreams if you've started dream journaling recently. That's very likely to happen, and when it does, it's going to be more likely that the other things that you asked for also end up happening as well. So once again, write this all down, and at the end of this you should have a big long statement of a bunch of things. You should have a bunch of I have or I am things about the past. You should have a bunch of I will or I'm going to statements about today and what you're definitely going to do today for certain. And finally, you should have some I could or I might statements about what might happen in the future that you would really like to happen. These are where your affirmations go, essentially. Essentially what you're doing here is you're building a history that agrees with the end result that you want to happen. So you are training your own inner model to aim for that result in the same way you would guide a large language model. Now once you have all of this written down, what I suggest you do is you read through it a few times from start to finish, and then ideally what you also do is you visualize all of it. Visualize the things that you have already done, the successes that you've already had. Visualize the successes that you know you're going to have today because you are planning to do those things. And then visualize the future successes that you could have, and be optimistic about the fact that you're likely to have most of them. Then repeat this process a few times. Now if you want to make this a daily habit and you don't like the idea of writing everything down every single time because you feel it's just too time consuming, then you can just make these statements to yourself in your head and visualize it all at the end. But I do suggest writing it down if you can, because I think the process of writing all of this down and seeing this big list of successes that you've already had and then rereading all of that really helps with this process. Especially since over time as you perform this more and more, you're actually going to have more successes to write down in the first part. Now you don't just have to use this for lucid dreaming. In fact, when I thought up this process, I wasn't thinking of using it for lucid dreaming at all. I was just thinking of using it for general everyday things. But it occurred to me that lucid dreaming might be a great application for it, and so that's why I decided to share this video. So give this a try, and if you'd like to learn more about lucid dreaming, be sure to check out the Lucid Dream book, which there'll be a link for in the top right hand corner, where you can get a detailed chapter outline for everything that's in the book, so you can decide if it's right for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and enable all notifications so you can stay up to date when my new videos come out. And if you want to keep watching, check out one of those videos on screen, go watch that, and I'll see you there soon. Take care and have some awesome lucid dreams.